What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I teach you guys how I turned a measly 500 Australian dollars into a massive and whopping 5,000 Australian dollars. Want to learn how I did it? Well, let's find out. Yo, what's going on, you guys? I'm Josh Salvador. Welcome back to another video, and this is a part 2 or an episode 2 of How to Make Easy Money, a series on this channel where we talk about how to make easy money. And if you guys like more of these videos and want me to expand more into other sort of avenues of how to make money in 2021, then hit the like button and subscribe, and also leave a comment down below telling me what sort of things and what sort of areas to look out in. So turning $500 to 5,000 is very difficult. You're basically multiplying your return by 10. Very difficult, right? So how did I manage to do it? I made an episode, I think episode 1 of How to Make Easy Money, where I told you guys about grading Pokemon cards, and then I pointed out 2 cards that I think will do really well, you know, with a nice flip if you do send them off to go and get PSA graded. If you guys need a bit more backstory, PSA is a grading service in America where they grade sports cards and collectible cards and trading cards such as Pokemon. And I'm sure you guys know where this is going. You basically send them off to PSA in America, then they will grade the cards for you, but it does take a pretty long time. Then you get the cards back, you pay for the grading service, and then now you have the card that you have in a nice PSA, you know, case over here. This is a PSA slab, as we like to call it. So there we go. It sounds pretty simple, right? But the thing is, how do you know what cards are worth sending over? I have about 20, I think, 20 or 30 cards in my hands right now that I will be sending off to PSA today. Let's find out what they are. And there's only 2 variants in them. So in that video, I recommended the 2 cards, Charizard 9 on 6/8 from Hidden Fates, and also Charizard SM211 promo from Hidden Fates as well. So there we go. We have 2 Charizards, and then that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to be sending all of these to PSA. Now, there's things that you have to consider. You have to consider the initial cost of the card, and you also have to consider the grading fee that you have to pay when the cards come back, because obviously they don't do it for free. PSA cards are super desirable in the collectible card market, you know, because it establishes the constant grade. So it keeps the grade constant, you know, because the condition of the card is super important. So that's why a lot of people seek to go and get the cards graded at PSA, because one thing, they authenticate the card to make sure your card is legit, and then they also give it a grade from a scale of 1 being poor and 10 being gem mint. And that's, gem mint is like the price of the card, you know. It's a huge thing to get a gem mint 10. So obviously gem mint 10 demands such a high price since they are super rare. It's basically a virtually perfect and spotless card. Now you might be thinking, Josh, you know, fine, buy all these cards that you said, but how do I know that they'll get a PSA 10? Well, that's where we look at the statistics and we turn into the more logical sides. I think that there were around 1,800 of said cards that were graded, like in total across, like, you know, every single card that was graded. Like, you know, I think there was like 1,800 for the SM211 and like what, 1,900 for the Hidden Fates 9 on 6/8. But the thing is, around 1,000, like 800 to 1,000 of those said cards came back as PSA 10s, or like, you know, a vast majority of those cards came back as PSA 10s. So the thing is, if 1,800 cards were sent and 1,200 came back as a PSA 10, I kind of like those odds, you know. They are very good odds to work with. So if majority of the cards that you send, if they come back as a PSA 10, you're basically going to be having a return. I think the market in Australia right now is around 350 Australian dollars, from 300 to 350 Australian dollars for, you know, the 2 cards that we have over here, the 2 styles of cards. Now, if you guys want to know where I picked up these cards, I basically looked around eBay, I looked around Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, all of my friends, like, you know, to see if they had any cards, just because I wanted to swoop in all of these. And I also had a couple of cards from my collection as well that I got from, you know, opening packs or buying some cards elsewhere, and them including the cards inside there as well. So, you know, I did a bit of digging. You know, there's still some on eBay and all that. And now let's talk about the price of the cards. You guys are wanting to know, obviously, the investments that I made inside, because, you know, if you buy a card, that is an investment to make more money. So the price of these cards, I paid in the neighborhoods of between $15 and $30 for these cards, because when a card is like mint condition, they usually are around like, you know, $20 to $30, because obviously they're virtually perfect and then they are in really good condition. But then there's some cards where it's a bit less condition, so it has a lower price as well. But I got lucky because I got like cards for like $15 when they normally go for like 30, but then they look really good. Like, I could not fault them at all. You know, I've been learning about how to grade cards myself. I mean, like, you know, the things that I look for to see if it will get a good grade or not. So the cards that I have over here, there's about like there's about 11 of these 9 on 6/8, and there's about 7 or 8 of these SM211s. I think out of those 20 cards, or 20 or so cards that I have, I'm pretty confident that at least 16 of them would get a PSA 10, just because 9 on 6/8 were absolutely amazing. You know, they carried, because these 9 on 6/8 they were available in the Hidden Fates packs, in the booster packs, whereas these SM211s, like, they were only available in these promo tins that I have over here. So obviously with all these with all the rummaging around and then it seated inside the plastic and all that, obviously it did probably get a bit damaged during transit, some of these cards. So inherently they are more you know, harder to grade, just because the condition is slightly more difficult, because they were in different conditions and different climates than regular booster packs. So you're probably thinking, hey, how much are you gonna make from all of this? You know, I'll consider this card, these cards over here, I would say that I invested $60 per card to get a potential of you know, a $350 return, because the cards themselves cost around $20, and then the grading fee is around 40 Australian dollars to get them back within around, I think, 2 to 3 to 4 months even. So that's not that bad, considering that the rest of the grading services, because you can pay to have your card graded faster, and obviously to have a higher cap on your insurance as well. Because if you have a card that's worth, like, say 1,500 Australian dollars, which you know, I have over here, the Chunky Chew, the Pikachu Rainbow Rare VMAX from Vivid Voltage. This card is around 500 Australian dollars raw, but it goes for around 1,500 Australian dollars in a PSA 10, which I think that this card has the potential to get. So that's why I wanted to pay a higher price. I think I'm paying 150 Australian dollars to get this card graded, but it will take a month or two to come back. So there's a faster turnaround time, and there's also a higher cap on the insurance. So if this card does go missing, I will have insurance to have this card you know, reimbursed. Whereas these cards, you know, they're a bit more they're lesser valuable as well, so I can pay the cheaper grading service to have them back within 3 months, which is 40 Australian dollars. But you know, there's grading fees that range from around $20 to $30, and then all the way up to $375, which you'll probably get that back within a month tops. So obviously those are the things you have to learn if you guys want to grade cards yourselves. I highly recommend PSA Submissions Australia. You know, the people over there, they're one of the biggest middleman services in Australia, where basically you send these cards over to the middleman, and then the middleman, you know, does all the dirty work for you, does all the paperwork, does all the insurance claims and all that, and then they send them off, and then they process the cards faster, because, you know, they have an assistant and a manager over there. So I highly recommend going over to a PSA middleman service in Australia. But if you live in America, it's pretty easy. You can just do it yourself, and it costs probably like 10 USD per card for yourself, so there's more margin for profit over there. But I recommend, like, if you guys do you know, buy these cards and you do, you know, send them to PSA and they do come back a PSA 10, I recommend just, you know, selling locally or selling on eBay and marking at a price of around 350 Australian dollars. That's basically what I'm doing. But yeah, it's definitely a nice way to make some money. I will do an update for where these cards come back, and then we can do sort of like a grading submission returns, a PSA returns video, and we can see what grades we get, and then we can see the price evaluation you know, of the said cards. You never know, maybe they'll go up in value, or maybe they might go down in value. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. The total profit margins, I will have a table Excel spreadsheet over here on the screen right now, so you can see the total expenses of this investment and the total potential returns of this investment as well. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. If you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Take care. Peace out.